A home is very different than a house. A home is where the heart is. Feeling of a home, especially in a new home, comes from right from the ground zero, right from when it's built. It's who builds your home, the feeling that's put into it while during the build, the heart and soul. A feeling of a great home. People can walk into a house and this feels like a home. And sometimes you walk into a house and it's like, doesn't feel like a home yet, and it's missing the heart. And I always like to build the heart into the house just right from the beginning. And it's really important to me. My name's Kirk Stockner. I'm the president of Quantum Construction. We've been around for 35 years renovating and restoring beautiful homes like this, with our specialty in character renovations and restorations. I was worried that a developer would buy it and knock it down. Being a 1912 home, sister home to my house, I really I'm passionate about old houses and really wanted to make sure it was saved. The fact that this is one of 6 buildings in a row that are character houses, and the streetscape is beautiful. And if you were to take one of those houses out, it'd be like, a nice smile missing a tooth. And so it's really important to me. I'm passionate about older homes. I've been restoring old houses, for almost 35 years. This house is over 100 years old, and I wanted to make sure it lasts another 100 years. And to knock this down and to cart it all off to the landfill just makes no sense. Some of the wood that's in this house you can't get now. And for the cedar shakes on the outside of the house are almost priceless. So we managed to save most of all the cedar shingles that are on the outside of the house, and where we had to add, on the addition on the back where we added on, we got original cedar shakes and we custom milled them. We had to modify them ourselves to make them match the profile of the existing ones. Details, there's not a lot. All the woodwork you see is exactly how it was, but it's all new because all the original woodwork had layers and layers of lead paint, and you just can't scrape it off. So it's all been milled, custom milled to match this house. Traditionally, these old homes had a lot of dark fir in them, and that I've sort of pulled that in with the newel post and some of the woodwork. And fir is actually very expensive now. It's one of the most expensive woods we can get. So all the millwork in this house that is new is all done in oak, stained to the same dark fir colors that it used to be. I kept the living room and the front hall very traditional looking. Sort of, if you walk in, you think it could be 1912. But the front door is original. The front door has been restored. The original glass was taken out and a sealed unit of similar era glass put in. A sealed unit, that means a double glazed window was put in there for energy efficiency. Stairwell going up, the newel post and the railing is all original. These posts here are originally from the basement. This is what held the house up. So I salvaged them from the demo downstairs, and a lot of them still have the nail holes and stuff in them. I cleaned them up, sanded them, and routed them and stained them. The fireplace, this house never had a fireplace. It would have had, the main heat would have been a kitchen stove in the kitchen and probably a little heater in the parlor room, which was what they called the dining room back in the day. This is a brand new Valor gas fireplace, and we built this. All the millwork was done by Quantum Construction in our shop. Again, the oak is stained dark to match the original stain of the fir posts and the newel post and the railing. We chose a kind of a traditional herringbone brick pattern here with some old looking brick just to make it look like an old English fireplace, because that's kind of what the look we're going for here, that old English coal burner. Kitchen and dining were opened up to create one great room, which is a very, more of a modern thing to do. The idea is that with the walls opened up, there's a wonderful flow from room to room. The living room could be separated with the sliding doors behind me. When it comes to the millwork in the kitchen and the bathroom, I decided to go modern. I just think it's, you spend a lot of time there, and it's nice to have something fresh. I kept thinking Soho apartment, the way the one wall is tiled, it's almost like a party wall between, brownstone houses. It sort of gives that feeling of solid edge of the house. And I didn't want to wrap the tile all the way around because I didn't want to feel like you were in a bathtub or something. I wanted it to be one solid like a brick wall that you're up against. And then the sort of, again, the dark oak and the black motifs everywhere. It just brings that sort of timeless beauty into it. And the countertops have a nice contrast. They're stone countertops, but they're not a dark stone, or they're trying to bring some light. It is, although it's the south side of the house, you can't have too much light, when you're cooking, and just to make it look more cheery with the lighter countertops. Originally in 1912, all these houses had an old pantry that we kind of call the bump out, the rear bump out. It's where all the wetness of the kitchen happened. The original house stops right here. This is an addition over time, and we got to keep that addition. And just because the ceiling height was always going to be different, we decided to highlight that and add some pickled hemlock, just for wiping latex paint on it and wiping it off, which is called pickling, which is kind of a dated thing to do. It was very common in the 80s and the 90s, but it just kind of worked, and it works with the oak floor, and it's not dark, it's not light. If you've left it natural, wood has a natural tendency to darken over time, so it would look kind of, dated and dark after a while, but it just gives a nice fresh look, and it kind of locks in the beauty of it. There's a little bump out on the side of the house that the dining room, it sort of helps delineate where the dining table goes. The pendant lights are in track, so if you change the size or the placement of your dining room table, you can always move the pendants across to suit the size or position. It's very difficult to get a powder room in these old houses. Traditionally, this would have been the kitchen. From here on, there would have been a big chimney right here, and then there's the stairs that would have come up here. And so we really managed to shoehorn this in here by turning the stairs 90 degrees, following the other set of steps. I've done this a few times. This is the third time I've done this exact same bathroom on an old house like this. Custom corner cabinet that's designed to look like a nightstand. So traditionally in old houses, you would have a nightstand next to your bed where you wash up and do your thing. And they're often little oak cabinets with a bowl on it. And so the corner cabinet in the powder room is meant to look like a little old nightstand. So here we are upstairs, and I think one of the neat things about up here are the original fir floors from the house. They were completely ripped up. We took them up carefully and we relayed them back down on the floor, and that's just kind of a neat reminder of how the floors were 112 years ago. The bedrooms are basically exactly where they are, but we've managed to rejig things a bit and get a ensuite bathroom and a dressing room into the bedroom. The primary bedroom really gives a sense of adult space. You've got your beautiful, fairly large walk-in closet, well appointed with custom millwork inside. The ensuite bathroom is a 3-piece bathroom with a custom built-in shower. Both bathrooms have new heat, like that's the under the tile heat, so your feet will always feel warm. All the cabinets are the same design as the kitchen, so all the cabinetry in the house, it's got the same oak doors and the same hardware, so there's continuity throughout. I opted for chrome in the bathrooms because I just find black is very trendy now, but it can get kind of dirty and dated looking in a bathroom with kids' toothpaste and soap everywhere. And chrome is timeless, and it can be cleaned up to looking new every time. 2/3 of the floor space downstairs is a suite. The other third, which is connected to this house, is a big, very large media room. I just thought it's sort of a great flex space for a family to grow into, whether you need a rec room or a media room. We've got nice wool carpet down here for that, if the kids are down here playing, it's much quieter. It's also safer on the stairs, so it just gives that quiet, safe kind of feel. In the corner here, it's roughed in for a bathroom. You can see some wood covers here. So in the future, someone could put a 3-piece bathroom in here and turn this into a bedroom, and usually put a wall up here. And there you go. You got a bedroom with its own ensuite. Conversely, you could also open up a wall right here. There's a knockout for a door here, and that would let you into the suite. Sometimes, in order to make a house, very efficient, you sometimes have to renovate the heart out of it. The floors are radiant heat. I also chose to keep the gas. I know there's a big push to steer away from gas and have electric heat pump, but for an old house like this, I think it's a great way to go. to keep the gas just for the in-floor heat and the hot water. And the in-floor heat is a very efficient way to heat a building. The gas cost is very minimal on this house to heat. The upstairs is a heat pump, and it's heated and cooled. So there's air conditioning, and some of that air conditioning and heat is used on the main floor too. So the gas is really there as a supplemental heat to, on the really cold days. The windows are all triple glazed. The attic is modern insulation, meets spec to the building code now. There is security cameras located outside the house, and the hub for all that and monitor for that is also in the mechanical room. And there's also the solar monitoring. So the solar panels on the roof is monitored by a little black box that sends that information onto the internet, so you can check on your phone to see how much power you're generating. What's also included in this house is a car charger and a parking space in the back that is dedicated to this house. And the solar is sized to annually give out about the same amount of power as a small electric car. The project comes under the City of Vancouver's Character Merit Program, where they allow you to build a fairly decent size infill, bonus you the square footage for that, at the same time restore an old character home. I opted to stratify the lot, so it enables me to sell off one half or the other or both separately. But in order to satisfy the needs of the city, you have to restore the house or upgrade the house to a certain standard of code. So there's a little bit more work involved to do that. But it does allow me to stratify the lot, which is what you're seeing here. There's an infill, and there's the main house, and then the infill has its own yard here, and this house has its own yard with common property down the side where the walkway is. Quantum has lots of experience restoring old homes and building laneway houses. And if you're interested in a project like this, you could check out our website at quantumconstruction.ca.